What's up, folks? Welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. Today's video, we're going to be talking about the champion that's right behind me right now. This is the upcoming Fusion champion coming on Monday, December 15th. Yukimasa Demon of Ice. I assume this is probably going to be the Christmas-themed Fusion since it's most likely going to end after Christmas. So I assume there's going to be no further Christmas themed champions. Now this one is kind of like ice themed. He looks pretty cool actually, and he does have the reindeer antlers, I guess. Let's take a quick peek at what Plarium has to say about this champion, Yukimasa, Demon of Ice. Yukimasa Demon of Ice is a highly versatile champion who can flex into whatever your team needs. Damage dealer, controller, or reviver. Wow, that's a lot of stuff in a kit. He thrives in PvP where he can serve as an extra control unit alongside your support CC debuffs, provide clutch revives, or step in as your primary or secondary DPS. When used properly, his A3 hits incredibly hard, especially when amplified by his passive. When paired with another CC support, you can fully lean into his offensive stats and skip accuracy altogether. His A1 is especially valuable against mythical champions, preventing them from switching forms. His standout feature is his A3, the ability to equalize the target's defense with his own. This shines against tanky enemy champions, allowing you to potentially one-shot your target and immediately follow up with an A2 if you've stolen enough turn meter. Wow, what a kit. What a description so far from Plarium. Let's check out the actual kit and we'll dissect further. All right, guys, so this is Yukimasa's kit. Now, we do have confirmation that it will be starting on Monday, December 15th, and they mentioned specifically that it's going to be a classic fusion event. So that is probably just another word for traditional, which means you have to acquire the rare champions, fuse the rare champions into the epic champions, level the epic champions, and then fuse the epic champions into the fusion. And it's going to be time limited event, so you have to do all this fusing and stuff during the fusion. So if it ends, then you're out of luck. Let's take a look at Yukimasa's kit here. So we got a force affinity attack based Shadowkin champion. Now Shadowkin does have a force affinity defense-based damage dealer with Harima. But yeah, let's take a look at Yukimasa's kit here. So his A1, Winnowing Winter, attacks all enemies, so an AoE A1 is very good. 25% chance of placing block active skills for one turn. That's very, very powerful ability. Block active skills is very good. This debuff cannot be resisted if there is at least one enemy under a stun, freeze, sleep, fear, true fear, provoke, petrification debuff. So hard CC. He can skip accuracy if the enemy is already hard CC. Okay. Instantly activates this skill whenever this champion skips a turn because of stun, freeze, sleep, fear, true fear, provoke, petrification. Instantly activates his A1 if he misses a turn. That has some potential. Yes, I see that. Debuff chance. Okay, so books. 4 books here. You only get an additional 15% chance to land the block active skills. So 40% chance to place block active skills. So that's not very consistent, to be honest. That's 2 out of 5 applications. But I mean, it's potential. You have potential to A1 a little bit more frequently, I guess. And I guess it is an AoE. So 40% chance on AoE. You're likely to get, some of them to have block active skills. It's not consistent, right? So the fact that Plarium is saying that you can use this to shut down mythicals, yes, that's possible. But if you need to shut down a specific mythical and you fail the 40% chance, then that kind of sucks. Of course, you can increase that chance by 5% if you take Sniper Mastery, which you probably would for this champion, so I could see that happening. And you probably end up taking the Master Hexer Mastery as well to extend the duration of the block active skills. Very strong debuff, but good A1 overall, but not as consistent as Plarium is making it out to be. Let's check out his A2 here. Blizzard of Strikes. 4-turn cooldown, books down to 3 turns. Attacks all enemies. Ignores block damage. I like it. Ignore block damage. Very annoying buff on the enemy side. Has a 100% chance when fully booked of placing freeze on all enemies. So it's a hit. So he has affinity issues with the force affinity. This debuff cannot be resisted if there's at least one enemy under the hard CC stuff. So no accuracy needed if they're already under hard CC. That doesn't make much sense because if they're under hard CC, stun, sleep, fear, true fear, provoke, petrification, why do you need to apply a freeze further? Like, for example, if they have stun already, Applying freeze again is kind of redundant, right? Actually, applying freeze would just make the enemy champions harder to kill because there's a damage reduction. I don't know. I think it's kind of weird. Doesn't make too much sense unless he has further freeze synergies. But yeah, let's read on. Also has a revive one random ally with 50% HP, 50% turn meter if this skill does not kill an enemy. That's really good. I mean, he has a really good value A2 here. It's a 3-turn cooldown, AoE attack, ignores block damage. So potentially you could kill someone, right? Or you just CC them and you revive a champion for a 3-turn cooldown. That's pretty good. And if you kill at least one enemy, you will revive all allies. So obviously building out with damage gets you the most value out of this. You want him to kill stuff with his A2. I assume this A2 is probably not going to hit very hard. It's just crazy value for a 3-turn cooldown ability. Crazy value, actually. Like, yeah, actually pretty crazy value. Very crazy value. Like 3 turns, if he can deal some damage, kill something, he's going to revive your whole team on a 3-turn cooldown. And if he doesn't do any of that, he still revives one ally and he still freezes the enemy. Of course, he's going to need some accuracy to freeze, but I mean, you could build him with some accuracy or in a hybrid build and not rely on this pre-existing CC. I don't know. I think there's some potential here with this A2. Let's check out his A3 here. Stain the snows. What color stain are their snows? Yellow stains? No, probably red stains, right? Anyways, just trying to be funny here, but attacks one enemy. Before attacking, steal all turn meter from that enemy. Okay, this effect cannot be resisted if there is at least one enemy under stun. Okay, so that's good. It doesn't have to be the enemy that you're targeting. That's good. So you can steal all the turn meter. Also equalizes the target's defense with this champion's defense for this attack. So this ability is actually really interesting because as far as I know, there's no other champion that equalizes defense in this way. Like this is an offensive mechanic for this ability. So assuming that he's, you build him with very low defense because he's an attack-based damage dealer, you build him with attack so he can deal damage. He will be basically equalizing the target's defense with his own, which means you're basically cutting out a ton of their defense. I'm not sure if this is better than just straight ignore defense. Probably not. It's probably not as good because some bosses obviously are immune to, I guess defense-based swap abilities, HP-based swap abilities, maybe. That'd be interesting to know. Maybe Plarium will put that in the fine print for some bosses. Will ignore swap abilities. But yeah, I think this is a really, really strong ability. Basically, you're just chopping off like thousands of defense from an enemy, potentially making them a lot easier to kill. So you steal their turn meter, and then you do this defense swap, and then you hit them. And this is on a 3-turn cooldown too. So that's pretty nice. Honestly, that's pretty nice. And I wonder if... you get damage boost here too. You get damage boost based on the amount of turn meter stolen. So I guess if you steal 100% turn meter, then your damage is boosted by 100%. And it's on a 3-turn cooldown too, so it seems very reasonable. Again, this ability has very good value potential. It's very good potential here. Imagine if you do the defense swap on a champion with very high defense and he can't kill that champion. Does that champion keep that defense for the rest of the fight? I think it does. I think it does. So now you have a champion that has reduced defense for the remainder of the fight, even if he doesn't kill that champion. So I think that's pretty interesting. I'll bring that question up with Plarium just to double check, but I'm pretty sure that's probably how it works. But that's really cool. His passive, Solitary Demon, fills this champion's turn meter by 50% whenever this champion skips a turn because of stun, freeze, sleep, any of that hard CC stuff. 50% turn meter seems kind of like Ancora's passive, I think. Ancora has a passive that's similar to this. Whenever this champion skips a turn because of one of those debuffs, their next active skill will ignore 50% of the target's defense. Okay, that's pretty strong. That's pretty strong. However, as an attack-based damage dealer, you probably don't want to be missing any turns. And if you do, you might not get back to your turn again. So it's a nice little insurance. I think it's a nice little insurance. It makes him a bit of a threat as well when he misses turns. He gets that turn meter boost. And then he also gets that big ignore defense condition. So it does make him a bit of a threat. He does come with attack in arena battles only, unfortunately. So that's not going to be helpful for like siege areas and stuff like that. But honestly, I think his skills have potential, but it doesn't necessarily make him a top like arena damage dealer, in my opinion. I mean, we'll have to check the multipliers. Like he could hit, let's say he hits absolutely insane. Let's say he hits absolutely insane. I don't think that's going to be the case, but let's say he hits absolutely insane. He has no way of surviving a single hit, right? Yeah, like Stone Skin, but otherwise he has no other survivability mechanic. He has no way of, trying to come back to life or anything like that, or any way to prevent his own death. So he's just going to be another hard hitting damage dealer. However, he does have other things going on with his kit. Like, for example, the defense swap, that could be important. The revive, which is very nice. He does have some freeze abilities, which is nice. And he does have the block active skill A1. So he could be just like a slightly better, generic damage dealer. But it really depends on how hard he's going to hit. You're most likely going to have to build him with some accuracy unless you pair him up with somebody else that brings these other debuffs, in which case his debuff value is not that high. So I think he's good enough to run by himself as a CC champion with a little bit of damage to help you out. But we'll have to check his multipliers when we get our hands on him on the test server, and just so we can get a chance to play test him. But so far, I think his kit has potential. It definitely looks very decent, but he's probably just going to be a step up from a generic, strong damage dealer, just because he does have some more value in his kit, the revive, the CC, and all that. But we'll have to see how he performs further later on. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for this showcase. Like I said, classic fusion champion that's going to be starting on Monday, December 15th, Yukimasa Demon of Ice. You guys are all caught up now. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate your time. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think about Yukimasa here. Is this a must-do? Is this a pass? Are we just waiting for Christmas events at this point? Let me know your plans in the comments below. Appreciate you all. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.